All right. LDBC, this is your boy Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Combat Sports Show Live. Okay, guys, Daniel Jacobs versus Sergiy Derevyanchenko. Listen, man, listen. There were some people that made videos and actually thought that Daniel Jacobs would win this fight. It'd be easy work. But I guess the real true boxing fans or knowledgeable boxing fans kind of knew that this fight was going to be a tough fight. It's a reason why Gennady Golovkin didn't want to fight this guy, man. And we saw why, okay? We saw why. I don't know, man, how people feel about Derevyanchenko. I kind of like how the guy fight, man. I like how he fight, but I'm going to talk about some of the flaws and some of the great things that I saw in this fight. Round one, Daniel Jacobs was able to secure a knockdown over Derevyanchenko. I didn't feel like the knockdown hurt Derevyanchenko. I just think, I thought it caught him, man. And, Derevyanchenko didn't see that right hand. Daniel Jacobs hit him with an overhand right. Actually, he took I don't know, man. He threw his right hand like he cocked his arm way back, man. I'm talking about he cocked his arm back, pulled his arm behind his shoulder, and then just threw a punch, man, a wild punch that landed. And I'm like, damn, okay, that punch landed. And Derevyanchenko didn't see him. He didn't see it coming, though. So I was kind of like, okay. But he dropped him, and Daniel Jacobs was trying to finish him, but the round ended before Daniel Jacobs got a chance to really finish the guy. Round two, Derevyanchenko returned the favor, man. He caught Danny Jacobs with a right, man, an overhand right that Danny Jacobs didn't see coming, and he staggered Jacobs. Jacobs said it didn't hurt, but Daniel Jacobs looked hurt, man. Those legs don't lie, and he almost had Daniel Jacobs doing the stinky leg. So I kind of, I don't know. I was like, man, this Derevyanchenko guy, yeah, he tough, man. That's what I was thinking. Round three, I saw Jacobs, man, really dig into the body. He was doing a lot of hooks to the body, man. And you can tell that body work was really doing damage to Derevyanchenko, and it was slowing him down. Daniel Jacobs, man, I got to imagine Daniel probably landed about 100 or so punches to the body. If somebody hits you 100 times in the body, that's going to slow you down, okay? You're not going to be as effective as you are, say like in round one. You won't be effective in round 7 if somebody, all they've been doing is hitting you in the body. And that's what Daniel Jacobs was doing. I thought that Daniel Jacobs spent a lot of time on the ropes, which I thought wasn't smart because Derevyanchenko, he's a very intelligent pressure fighter. And he was coming forward with a lot of offense. And Daniel Jacobs, he dodged a lot of Derevyanchenko's offense. But to stay on the ropes against a guy like Derevyanchenko is very, very dangerous for a long period of time. But Daniel Jacobs felt very comfortable. Another thing, too, Daniel Jacobs kept going from right to left, he kept going from orthodox to southpaw. Which, I'm kind of, okay, I get it. I thought Daniel Jacobs in southpaw, I thought he was doing better work than Darian. I thought he was working Derevyanchenko over as a southpaw. Whenever he switched back to orthodox, he was less effective. He couldn't do some of the things that he was trying to do. Derevyanchenko, Roy Jones had been calling for him to use his left hand, And I don't know. I don't think it would have mattered because Daniel Jacobs, he just would have went back to southpaw again if Derevyanchenko started to throw that left hand. So I didn't think Derevyanchenko had an answer for Danny Jacobs, man. He just, at points in the fight, he looked confused. Now, I'm going to say, I'll say rounds 8, 9. No, I say rounds 9, 10, and 11. Nope, God, let me get my shit, PG-13 channel. Rounds 10, 11, and 12. I felt like Derevyanchenko made some good adjustments, and he started to win rounds in my eyes. He started, catching Daniel Jacobs with the jab, and he was doubling and tripling it up on his jab, and then he would throw a right. That was very effective for Derevyanchenko. It was extremely effective. And I was wondering, there was points in the fight, early in the fight, that he would throw his jab, and it was effective. But he stopped in the middle of the fight, between his round 5 and 8. Derevyanchenko just abandoned that jab, man, what was working. So that kind of puzzled me a little bit. And it puzzled me that his corner didn't tell him, hey, just put that jab in his face and keep the jab in his face and come back with your right. But, I'm not in the corner. But that's probably what I would have told him because it was working. Danny Jacobs, he was using a lot of lateral movement, man. And I thought Derevyanchenko did a good job, man, of actually cutting off the ring. But he cut the ring off. He didn't make Danny Jacobs pay for it. He didn't do anything to deter Danny Jacobs from, trying to pivot and get back to the middle of the circle. He did nothing to try to actually deter Jacobs from doing that. So Jacobs moved freely. He did whatever he wanted to. And when you're cutting off the ring, you got to make the guy run into your hand, man. You just got to. And Derevyanchenko, he didn't really do a lot of that. But toward the later rounds, though, I started scoring the fight more for Derevyanchenko because I felt like in the later rounds, like from rounds 10 to 12, I thought that he was doing more work. And I thought that he was outworking Daniel Jacobs. I felt that way. You know, the judges, I think the judges, they actually got this one right, okay? I had it a split decision. I had to fight a split decision, and the knockdown to me gave it to Jacobs automatic. I mean, you know, when you have a knockdown, it's hard to come back. Like, you have to literally dominate the fight, man. I'm talking about you got to beat your opponent from in post to in post. Like, that's what you got to do to come back from a knockdown. And I couldn't see Derevyanchenko coming back on the scorecards, you know, from that knockdown. But I definitely gave rounds 10, 11, and 12 to Derevyanchenko. You can throw 9 in there, I think like a middle round, but I had a 7-5 for Jacobs. Okay, my scorecard was 7-5. I like Derevyanchenko, man. Like, I think this guy can probably face anybody in that middleweight division, and I think he could beat him. You know, I mean, again, it's a wonder why Triple G didn't want to fight this guy. Derevyanchenko is a bad matchup for anybody, bro. Like, seriously, these guys are not going to want to fight this guy. Daniel Jacobs even said, I had to fight him because he had a strap. I had to. So, that's the only way, you know. But, so, if Derevyanchenko didn't have a strap, Jacobs wouldn't have fought this guy. I mean, let's just be real, man. And this is the thing, you know, this was a good fight, and I feel like two of the best middleweights in the world were fighting each other. But it's kind of what Danny Jacobs said, man, that kind of, you know, made me allude to that, damn, you know, he would have never taken this fight. He would have never taken the fight if the guy, even though this guy's a good fighter, still wouldn't have fought him, man. He would have fought like some lesser guy who just got the belt by default and then beat that guy and took the belt. See, these are the problems in boxing that we got to clean up. But I got a video. Oh, I got a video. That's going to make a lot of people upset. And it just is. But, you know, this video that I'm making, it has to be done. Okay? It has to be done. And I think that I'm the person to do it. But shout out to Danny Jacobs and shout out to Sergiy Derevyanchenko, man, for actually going in there, man, and accepting this fight. Both of these guys took the fight. I'm done. What are you waiting on? Subscribe.